Mostly, flamenco guitar should be defined by instrument which allows you more speed. Means it's designed for speed, to play for speed. And this is the real definition, because if we observe, really speaking, there is no definition around. So, what is a flamenco guitar? A flamenco guitar is a guitar because it's made of Cypress. It's flamenco because it has a golpeador, because it has a tap plate. No, that's not very logical argument. And in fact, if you observe, the very inventor of flamenco guitar and of Spanish guitar at all, Antonio de Torres, he never had a definition for flamenco guitar against classical guitar. That we will see in Wikipedia and some interesting links here. So if we go to Wikipedia and type flamenco guitar, look what we read here. It says, traditionally luthiers made guitars to sell at a wide range of prices, largely based on the materials used and the amount of decoration to cater to the popularity of the instrument across all classes of people in Spain. The cheapest guitars were often simple basic instruments made from the less expensive local wood such as cypress and rosewood. Antonio de Torres, which is the inventor of the guitar, here, let's click here to see his picture. This guy invented the guitar as we know today. Antonio de Torres, one of the most renowned luthiers, did not differentiate between flamenco and classical guitars. Only after Andrés Segovia and others popularized classical guitar music, this distinction emerged. So, look what it says in construction. Construction, the traditional flamenco guitar is made of Spanish cypress, sycamore or rosewood for the back and sides and spruce for the top. This in the case of cypress and sycamore accounts for its characteristic body color. So now they are defining the flamenco guitar because of made of cypress. So if a guitar is made of cypress, it's flamenco. Right? If it is rosewood one, then it is classical. That's what it says here. And in fact, there is no definition yet. Until AG came now, there was no definition of flamenco guitar, because flamenco guitar was same like the classical, really. In fact, Torres did not do a distinction about it, Torres himself. So this is big, this is what I'm saying here. Flamenco guitars are built lighter with thinner tops than classical guitars. Who said that? The thinnest top in the world is by Greg Smallman, the luthier that, you know, John Williams plays his guitars, the Australian luthier. And this is the thinner top in the world. It's classical and not flamenco. So who says that the classical guitar has a thicker top than the flamenco ones? Who said that? Like, I want the proof of this as true, because it's just totally misguiding. And in fact, this is the confusion here. If we don't understand this principle, what's by definition what a flamenco guitar is, you ask anyone, what is a flamenco guitar? What it plays Tomatito, what it plays the other guy, what is that because they are flamenco players, they play that guitar is flamenco because of that? Is that a nice logic? No, that's not a nice logic. A definition is something that defines the object distinguishing this object from another object. Not that gives you just such a wide thing. Like if I said, what is a dog? A dog is a four-legged animal. Yeah, but four-legged animal may be also many things. Maybe a donkey, maybe a horse, maybe another thing, a cat. And that also has four legs, right? But that's not the definition of a dog. Right? So definition is precisely that which makes sure that the object is understood. And this is not happening here, so we don't have a definition of flamenco guitar yet, until AG came to define it. I can say now we have a definition, but let's continue here. It says, flamenco guitars are built lighter with a thinner tops than classical guitars, which produces a brighter and more percussive sound quality. So percussive. What does it mean, percussive? Percussive means this. To knock at something, right? So according to them, this knocking thing, that's what is percussive. Builders also use less internal bracing to keep the top more percussively resonant, which is also not true, because the amount of percussion in the top is not measured by the amount of bracing patterns. The top is typically made, I will post at the description of this video some videos in which I will prove what I'm saying here, and which you need to know as a background in order to understand well what we're talking about here. So it says, the top is typically made either of spruce or cedar, though other tone woods are used today. Volume has traditionally been very important for flamenco guitarists, as they must be heard over the sound of dancers' nailed shoes. To increase volume, harder woods such as rosewood can be used for the back and sides, with softer woods for the top. While it's not true that the rosewood guitar has more volume than another of other wood, because the back and sides will not give any volume to the guitar. So this is another thing. Another misunderstanding more. In contrast to the classical guitar, the flamenco guitar is equipped with a tap plate golpeador, commonly made of plastic, similar to a pick guard, whose function is to protect the body of the guitar from the rhythmic finger taps or golpes. So let me laugh on this thing, because now it comes up that if you put a golpeador on a guitar, then it becomes flamenco guitar. So a guitar, definition of flamenco guitar is a guitar that has golpeador. So what is this? This is not science. This is it seems a joke. But unfortunately, these things, this is what is going on. Most people, more than 90%, are confused about these things, so that's why they don't get it. Now, look what it says. Originally, all guitars were made with wooden tuning pegs that pass straight through the headstock, and then similar to those found on a lute violin, as opposed to the modern classical style guitars geared with tuning mechanisms. Flamenco Negra, so here it says, practically speaking, that the flamenco guitar, one characteristic is that it has pegs. But here we can see that in this guitar here, made by José Pagés in Cádiz in 1812, this is also a classic. In fact, this is a classical guitar, and it does have the pegs, you see. So what is about this classical thing? This has nothing new. This is a very old thing. It has 100 years, this guitar, in fact. So, as you can observe, well, this is a novelty, sound port. So we can get an idea about what is new and what is not new. What is the real definition of a flamenco bridge? Let's say if you just put in Google, you type this in Google, bridge classical guitar, or classical guitar bridge, and look what it comes here. It comes this, right? This is very thick, very thick, and even from both sides. This side, the bass side and the treble side is exactly the same, and this is the classical bridge, right? And now if you type here flamenco bridge, flamenco guitar bridge in Google and click images, then it comes this, which is exactly the same thing like before, right? Look at this. This is not different from the classical one. Like Tell me what is the difference. What is the difference between these, right? Let's say this and this. There is no difference at all, right? It's the same kind of bridge, right? So, therefore, this is the confusion here. This is the problem, right? About confusing these things, because these bridges are not really for flamenco, but are the same like in classical guitars. It's exactly the same, right? Therefore, I would define a flamenco bridge something like this, which is in fact different. Two wings are different. It's extra flat because that allows percussive elements like playing. When we play the percussion thing, really, this will make a difference. But if I have the same thickness here, if I have same both thick parts, these same, right? Then these two wings are the same exactly. So I am not getting any different thing from here, right? Because of this fact, because of this being thick and being even one side and the other side. You see, this side, same. So this is the same like in the classical guitar. If I go to classical guitar bridge, then I will see the same, right? Same thickness. This is a Gilbert. This is different, and this is very original idea. In fact, this one. This is a Gilbert idea, John Gilbert idea. So, bridge of classical guitar, and then it comes this thing, right? So this is same. It's exactly same kind of bridge, like the so-called flamenco bridge. What's the difference between flamenco bridge and classical bridge? So here, this is not defining anything. This is so-called flamenco bridge, and this is the classical one. So what's the difference? You tell me. Look at it. Both wings are same, and this is same. So then now, why this is classical and this is flamenco? Why? Because the guitar is made of Cypress. Like, and give me a break, please. Right? This is one thing here, and then the other is that this bridge here. This is revolutionary because this one has in fact two different wings. This being thicker and shorter, and this being longer and thinner. Besides the highest precision it has in the division, which I explained this in many other videos, in the division of the strings, this is different bridge. This bridge can be called a bridge for flamenco because it's really different, and it's also extra flat. Here, you see. So this is a very different thing, but these have no differentiation, not at all. In fact, this is just a classical bridge, and this is another classical bridge in the name of flamenco bridge. Therefore, here in Wikipedia it says that Torres himself, Antonio de Torres, did not make a distinction between did not differentiate between flamenco and classical guitars, because they were the same, really. Only thing, actually, this Cypress thing, all this Cypress thing came into the picture because luthiers need to survive, and they want to sell a guitar. Then also 100 years ago, they put the cheapest wood there, because the classical ones were made of rosewood. Right? The classical guitars were made of rosewood, and then the flamenco guitars, so-called flamenco guitars, which Torres himself, he said, were the same. This information by Maestro José Romanillos is there in the book, in the highest authority about Torres, which is Romanillos. Right? He said that Torres did not distinguish between classical and flamenco. So that happened later on. Why? Because What happens is that luthiers start to make guitars of Cypress, also Maestro Antonio de Torres did. It was made out of Cypress because we're cheaper for the flamenco community, because the flamenco community generally were guys which could not afford, did not have much money, and then therefore they have to do that. They have to do a guitar, to make a guitar cheaper, and to put the cheapest wood, that was the most available wood, and cheapest wood here in Spain was Cypress, obviously, and it's still Cypress. So then therefore that became the definition of a flamenco guitar. But it's up to you to analyze the facts and to see what's there, what is flamenco really, and what really can define a guitar as being a flamenco guitar. And then what to speak of changing other elements, like the fretboard, which in AG now is of different materials, like this bird's eye maple. Okay, so I hope this answered your question, but yeah, we need a definition of flamenco guitar, and we have to understand what definition means really, because this mess of confusion around this thing is going on and on. So that's why information and knowledge is very valuable.